Howdy everyone. Today we're going to knock out a 2024 updated video for the custom clouds tool that we have with Rainbow Trends. Originally this tool started off as just a Ichimoku indicator set with some customizations and some optimizations that a lot of our traders wanted. And then over time it's evolved and we've added a whole bunch of different toolkits and different items to it. So we're currently building out our GitHub for Rainbow Trends with all the dedicated tool tutorials. And we've got so far the main indicator and the split volume done, and this will be a dedicated page for this tool set itself. So starting out, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know we do have the main indicator, just at least the color candles on here. And then we're just going to be focusing on the custom clouds, RSI, and HMA tool. Like I said, we've added so much stuff here. It's really kind of involved. Well, maybe one day we'll get a better name for it, but we're going to be really focusing in on all the different things that we have here. And I wanted to break it down step by step because when you first turn this on, it's going to have a lot of different things on. And at all times, if you ever don't want something, like, you have to realize we have so many tools at this point. If you turn them all on at once, you're going to go cross-eyed and not going to be able to make sense of it. So you can turn off a lot of these things off the front. And I'm going to turn off all these things at once just so that we can start off with just the top section, which is going to be the Ichimoku cloud. So some traders want everything. Some people just want the cloud. So we have a customization here where you can turn on the different items of the Ichimoku cloud. There's a million tutorials on these. I'm not going to go into it in depth, but we're going to try to keep this short. But you can optimize this with going with cloud only, turn that on and off, get your different settings there. And you can also kind of go between the doubled settings, which Josh Olswick's uses for crypto, which is my personal preferred. And then you can also switch between standard cloud settings with just a few clicks. If you're someone who wants to do some customized clouds, you can do that as well and set your settings here for your base length, your leading length, your displacement, all your different line lengths. If you want to turn off all the cloud related items, you can click these off and they'll all turn off. And now you have technically nothing for this tool starting out. So that breaks down the first base. This is your Ichimoku customization. The next is one of my favorite tools of all time is our RSI X markers. In short, in backtesting, in real life trading, RSI is one of the greatest indicators ever created, in my opinion. Out of all the things that I've tested, hundreds and hundreds of indicators and used them for different algorithms and trading bots and everything else, RSI is one of the things that hits right out of the box on any time frame, on any asset. The problem is most people cannot visualize it, including myself. You can spend a lot of time trying to learn how to read the indicators, or we can take kind of the Rainbow Trends approach with putting colors to it. So we're going to turn on the overbought and the oversold and then turn our markers on and they'll populate on the map here. So with the colors that we have with Rainbow Trends, it kind of blends and it doesn't look right if you use the same colors as the candles. So you'll notice here the colors are opposite. So typically when you will see white bearish candles, you're going to see white as RSI on the overbought side. We initially did testing where we ran the same colors as for the bullish candle prints, as in these Rainbow Trends colors here. So if you go back to the original cheat sheet, we have our 4 bullish colors, our 4 bearish colors. We've essentially flipped these upside down to make the RSI stand out and easier to read. And that's why it's inverted here. It's a commonly asked question, but that's the explanation of it. A lot of these colors, you would not believe how many variations we've done just so that the colors don't blend together and that your eyes can recognize it. So the point of RSIs, while we do have standard color rotations, we also have RSI rotations. So instead of having an indicator on the bottom here with like relative strength giving you an oscillator, this puts the RSI data directly on the candle. One of the biggest things with whales going back and forth in the order books and bulls and bears fighting, there's multiple things that will slow down a whale. There's going to be the speed at which they move. There's going to be price levels at which stop them, like order blocks, pivots, stuff like that. There's going to be fib extensions. But one of the biggest ones is, while there is resistance to speed in a vertical direction, whether that's up or down, there's also a secondary resistance that the whales encounter in regards to RSI. And you'll see that in these moves at which they'll start and get a move going, they will hit maximum RSI and they will back off on the trend. And what you will see is color rotations followed with alongside RSI rotations. So in this situation here, you can see a very, very large move pumping up, slamming into RSI, and then rotating out and kind of fading. You got weaker colors, you got weaker RSIs. So on the bullish and the bear side, on the bulls, when you're in an uptrend, the RSI will print on the top. And when you're on a downtrend, you will have the RSI on the bottom. One of the greatest things about this tool as well is something we recently added not too long ago is something where we have RSI top and bottom signals. So you can turn this on as well. And what this tool will do, it will start counting and it'll make sure that there is a continued trend. And it will then notify the trader that there is an RSI bottom or an RSI top present. So this gives the automation where you can actually set alerts to this. We will do that right now. So we can go over to click the alert log. You can do add alert. And then you'll go here to your condition. Your condition will not be price. It will not be main indicator. It will be the custom clouds tool. And you can do RSI bottoms and RSI tops. So you would click this bottom or top and you could set your alert. So for a top, we would do that once per bar close. We would say this one chart is Bitcoin daily RSI top and top signal. And we can then say, we will then get a notification here. So when we're on the daily on these settings, this alert will now pop up and populate over here. There it goes. All right, so that's RSI prints. At the same time, if you are just focused on bottoms or tops, you have the customization to just do that as well. It's a little subtle there, but we'll go back and show some bottom territory. Here you go. Some bottoms and tops. So you have bottoms here, tops here, or bottoms here, tops here, and then you can click overbought. You'll see those disappear, and then you can do these as well. Likely, if you just want to see RSI and you don't want to have automation on the alerts, you can turn these bottom signals on and off. Or likewise, if you don't like RSI markers, you can turn all that off. In addition to that, one of the other tools we've layered into is HMA and HMA alerts. So you can actually do, when there's HMA crosses, most of the time, most people don't use this, but we do use the HMA. If you ever hear me do BART tutorials, BART System trade setups, you will hear me reference the HMA cross all the time. It's a really, really good indicator. So when we're hunting down BARTs, it will cross through the hairline, and it's one of my additional signals that I look for when chasing BARTs. But go look up the whole moving average. It's not something I invented, but it's something we definitely added into this tool because a lot of people sleep on it. We did add HMA alerts as well as bullish divergences and stuff like that. If you guys want to look into that, it's not too many traders use that. Let me zoom out. Yeah. You won't really see it on the higher time frames, but the tool is set up to be able to look for bearish and bullish divergences. It's as if you were looking for, some people do this on like RSI divergences. It's kind of the same logic. So we're looking for bearish and bullish divergences. So it's there if you want to use it. Not too many traders use it, but I was in the middle of back testing and saw that it hit, and I went ahead and added it because it wasn't that big of a code difference to do it. Your other options for the HMA, you have options to tune. I know our guy Blake, who's part of the Rainbow Trends crew, he really trades well with this. He prefers the 100. I prefer the 125, but this is your chart. Paint the picture you want. You can change it as well. You can change the different sets of if it's an open, high, low, close. There's a bunch of different whole moving average takes on this. Most people don't mess with that. And then you can also do your pivot looks back. So all of these items, the pivot look back left, right, max look back range, that's strictly looking for the bullish and bearish divergences. So if you're really sensitive to that and want to set it up, that's what those settings are for. So I'm going to turn this off, and that's whole moving averages up. Speaking of whole, let me cover this real quick. So it's the same way for these alerts. You will go to, we'll go to a time frame that doesn't have that. So it's the same way for the whole moving average alerts. Let me move this back and go to a different time frame. So you can do add BTC. You would then select your custom clouds. You can do your HMA cross up or HMA cross down. Once per bar close, HMA cross. And we are BTC H6. So that way my phone is lit up with that information when it happens. Like so. We create it. It'll populate it here. So we're going to turn off HMA. We're going to get to the last parts of this tool. So the last thing we have here is the golden pocket tool. And a lot of people really like trading Fibonacci sequences. I personally don't use it that much, but when I do want to use it, I want it to be automated. I do not want to draw my golden pocket fibs. So you can turn this tool on, and it's going to be looking back, and it's going to be plotting your Fibonacci golden pocket. So as you can see here, it's automatically looking so many candles back per the settings. So right now it's looking back 50 candles. So this setting is if you want to pick a larger time frame, you can increase or decrease that. And the automation will pick which time frame or which kind of like the high it sees, the low it sees, and it'll draw your fib pocket. Some people, if you're looking for the fib pocket on the other side, you have the option to do the inversion. So right now Bitcoin's pulling back and actually hitting the fib pocket right there, the golden pocket. You have the option to change your colors on these things as well if you'd like. We pretty much include that on anything that I can so that the users can customize and do what they want. Invert the fibs, and then you can also extend your fibs to the left indefinitely. They automatically extend to the right, but you can stop that as well just to show the range which the bot is applying it to. Display your prices if you want to, turn that off, or you can also toggle on your display your levels as far as the fib sequence 1, 0, and then the 618 and the 0.65. The levels format as well, I think you can change this to percentage. Yeah, 61%. So minor little things here, but we open it up so people that want to have the option, they can do that. One thing I do often, I will copy this tool, I will paste it, and I don't know, yeah, it copies the same settings. That's really cool. I typically, personally, I like doing we gotta flip those around. I like running both. So what'll happen is I will run one HMA tool, one custom clouds tool, and then I will run a second one, and I will turn on the golden pocket, and I will invert one and not the other. And what that does is it allows me to see both sides of the golden pocket. So I get to see out of this current range, if we're looking for a retrace in this direction or this direction, you get to see both sides. And that's how you would do it. You just duplicate these. So in short, that is the custom clouds RSI and HMI tool, which now does golden pocket and a bunch of other stuff. I'm really probably gonna have to rename this as toolkit, but as of 2024, that's the name. That's all the settings. Likewise, if you have any questions, hit us back up in the Discord or shoot us an email or shoot me a DM there at rainbow-trends.com. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll knock out the next video as soon as we can.